Rookie science teacher says he was simply chasing the American dream. He's now trying to figure out how to rebuild his life.
I believe that they should have given, more attention to my case.
Walner Sauceda thinks the American immigration system failed him. He spent years waiting for a decision on his asylum case, and when it was denied, he spent years checking in with immigration authorities, like many living in legal limbo. Now, deported to Honduras, a country he has not seen since he was 13. The FIU grad was just starting his teaching career at Palm Springs Middle School.
It has affected me in different ways, and especially my students, because my students were left without a teacher. This affects their academic life.
We traveled to Honduras, went to his tiny village, 3 hours outside the capital.
The first thing I read is that we miss you.
Walner showed us the outpouring of support he has received from students and colleagues. Letters describing their worries about an upcoming test and how they wish he was there to prepare them.
Mr. Sauceda, you were my favorite teacher and still are.
It's been weeks since he's been back in Honduras. Came back with nothing but the clothes he was wearing. To his surprise, a special delivery came by way of the teachers union. Suitcases packed with his clothing.
The iPad?
The stuff he left behind. Things that really matter. His college degree, the teaching certificate, and those letters from students and his colleagues.
Why did you decide to go to Honduras?
Only because his story just really touched me.
We sat down with the president of the teachers union after she returned from Honduras. Traveling to the Central American country, she says, is the least they could do for this beloved teacher. They also raised money for him. In the Palm Springs classroom, there's still hope Walner will return. Back in Honduras, Walner told me he would if given the chance. But for now, he's adapting to a different world.
The sad part is leaving my family behind.
Faith, he says, has helped a lot. Called himself a lifelong Christian whose church is literally next door.
But I ask God for peace, and I know that God is providing. And if I'm here in this country, it's because He's going to provide.
After my husband's deportation in 2022, I made the move out to Mexico with him, and I have been making content basically ever since. Literally started making content while I was still waiting for him to be deported. Well, something that I didn't really ever talk about on my social media was how hard it was. I've talked about how hard it is leaving my family, but I've never talked about how hard financially it was for us. This is all we were able to take to Mexico with us. This bag held all of my son's toys, that little bag that he's holding. And for the first little bit, this is how we were living. The first few months, we actually didn't have a TV. When we did get it, that's how we had it. This is how our son's room looked, and those right there are all the toys that they had. We got real creative though. My man even made this rocket ship for the kids out of cardboard. We didn't have a table, so we were painting pumpkins and eating right here on the kitchen floor. Although it was freaking hard, I'm so proud of how far we have come. But I feel like this is the reality that not a lot of people share on social media. Coming down here with absolutely nothing and starting from the ground up was so challenging, but it also taught me how to truly be grateful for everything that we have and the motivation to keep working our asses off. And I guess this is just me trying to be more vulnerable to my community.
One stupid mistake cost me everything. I'm a tattoo artist here in Tijuana. Been here for 10 years. I got deported in 2015 and I served a 20-year sentence out of a 29 to life. At the time, I didn't realize what a waste of time of life, I just didn't care, but that was just how I lived in a gang culture. But now that I'm free and I've been living this life and I can look back, man, I can't even believe somebody would do that kind of lifestyle. It's a total waste, man. Total waste of life being a gang member or a criminal. Living a decent life and working for a living and having a good life and enjoying life, that's the beautiful thing about life. People can change. People can change the way they live. People can change their lifestyle, man. I'm a living proof, and you know what? Today I look at all that stuff and I can't stand it. And enjoy your life, man. God bless.
Imagine waking up in the country you've lived for years and by nightfall you're gone. No home, no job, no goodbye. Today you are going to hear what deportation is really like, not in the headlines, but in human lives. Let's watch these clips and then I'll come back with more commentary.
All right, y'all, what's good?
For those that are curious about my new living situation, so I moved to Luang Prabang. This is where I work at. Stop by and see me. That's my little reception area. We closed right now. We're already closed for the night. Little parking area here. Spots to relax. We run a little shuttle in the morning and late afternoon to the night market. Got a little gym area right here. I've actually been working out for the past couple of days. Nothing too heavy, you know. Fellow American here from Texas. Say what's up, bro.
Hey, what's the deal, man? We out here for real.
Alright. That's the kitchen area. I cook at night. Through there is gonna be our little cafe and everything. Swimming pool in the back, well, just above that little red area right there. That's some dormitories. Alright. Basically got a personal bathroom here. That's dope. Alright. Check out my spot though. Made a little homie, you know what I'm saying? Finally hooked that up. Bed's alright. It ain't too comfortable, but you know, it's cool. And then I got a little fan back here. I dry my clothes, y'all. I could dry it outside in the daytime, but it'd be too.
Deportation is often discussed in numbers, debates, and policies. But behind every case is a person, a parent, a worker, a neighbor whose entire life can change in a single moment. In this video, we are sharing real stories from immigrants who were deported from America and what happened after everything they built was taken away. These are not political arguments. These are human experiences.
The worst job you're gonna get once you get deported is a call center job. I've worked at Walmart, painted houses, scrubbed toilets for a living, and nothing messed me up more than a call center job in El Salvador. The first jobs I had when I got deported was actually a call center, and I said never again. And here I am on my first day back to a call center job after I swore to myself that I was never gonna do this shit again. I slept 3 hours the day before, and I left the house at 6 in the morning because it was supposed to be a 20-minute drive from my house to the site. Bro, I got there at 7:30 in the morning and I was supposed to be there at 7. I almost said, fuck this, man. All for $700 a month.
Many of the people you hear from today lived in the US for years. Some arrived as children, some built businesses, some raised families. For them, America wasn't just a place, it was home. And then suddenly they were told to leave. No time to pack their lives, no chance to explain to their kids, just gone. Some even say that when deported, they left everything they owned, their apartments, jobs, and even clothes. They landed in a country they barely recognize. I quote, "I didn't know where to sleep, I didn't know who to call. Overnight, he went from stability to survival." That's something many deportees described. The shock, not just emotional but physical. The sudden realization that life you worked no longer exists.
On November 4th, 2024, I was coming back from Mexico. I had gone to visit some friends and I was crossing back through the bridge legally. I have been a resident for 19 years. And I actually was raised in Texas my entire life. My parents brought me and my brothers, my siblings, to United States when I was 3. And November 4th, I was detained by Homeland Security at the border, and I was never released. I actually just got out from the detention center I was held in Port Isabel, in Texas. I sat there for about 179 days, approximately. And I got deported. I can't really answer why they detained me. It took about 2 months for them to give me any paperwork telling me why I got detained, why I was getting threatened to get deported, etc. I went through several lawyers because the first two I paid a couple of $100, and they took my money, and I never heard from them again. But after my family helped me get a hold of a good lawyer, I fought and fought and fought, and ICE and Homeland Security never bent. They told me I wasn't eligible to be in that country anymore when I have never had any felonies, I've never hurt nobody, I've never been to prison, and all I've done was work my entire life. Since I was 17, I worked, never stopped, not a single day. I worked as a blue-collar boy. Once I hit the age of 19, I was eligible to work, and I started working and paying taxes, and I had children. I have 4 children from the age of 18 all the way down to 1, and I lost my children. Lucky for me, I still get to talk to them and communicate with them, but I can no longer see my children, at least till they're able to come to Mexico. I don't know how this could have happened. Of course, the administrations that run the United States now are no good. They say so much about wanting to make it a safer country and getting rid of criminals and killers and, people that break the law heavily. And in the 6 months I was detained, I met so many guys that were detained and being threatened and that got deported just because we were not U.S. citizens or born citizens in the United States. I didn't see very many criminals go through that detention center at all. A lot of innocent people, a lot of good men, kids, because there was a lot of kids there from 18 and up, all the way to their 60s, 70s. And I'm blessed to have family that have my back, but I lost what I love dearly the most. It's my kids, my lifestyle, my family. So yeah, that's what's going on.
And here is the part most people never hear about. Several immigrants shared that the hardest part wasn't jobs or even money. It was losing their families, parents separated from kids, spouses forced to live across borders, birthdays, graduation, and every moment missed forever. Stories like these are uncomfortable, but they matter because understanding the human side helps us understand the real cost of deportation. Let's talk about starting over. After deportation, many immigrants face another challenge: starting over from nothing. No credit history, no professional recognition, sometimes not even fluency in the language of the country they are sent to. Most of these deportees struggle to find work since the skill they have is international, and most of these employees need local employees, the people that have skills from the local. So, despite all of that, not every story ends in defeat. Some deportees eventually open small businesses, some reconnect with their lost relatives, some find purpose in helping others going through the same pain. So the trauma that doesn't disappear, but resilience often rises in its place. So these stories are not about victimhood, they are about survival. Deportation is often discussed as a policy tool, but policies don't feel pain, people do. And whether you agree or disagree with immigration laws, one thing is undeniable: deportation doesn't just move people across borders, it reshapes their lives forever. If these stories made you think or even feel, that's the point. Thank you for listening, and thank you so much for seeing the human side. And if you want to hear more real stories like this, consider subscribing to join our family, because behind every handwriting there is always a human story waiting to be heard. Thank you so much. All the credits to the scripts are given to the original owners. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.